From the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 8, verses 27 to 35. Jesus and his disciples set out for the villages of Caesarea Philippi. Along the way, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" They said in reply, "John the Baptist, others Elijah, still others one of the prophets." And he asked them, "But who do you say that I am?" Peter said in reply, "You are the Christ." Then he warned them not to tell anyone about him. He began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer greatly and be rejected by the elders, the chief priests, and the scribes, and be killed and rise after 3 days. He spoke this openly. Then Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. At this, he turned around and, looking at his disciples, rebuked Peter and said, "Get behind me, Satan. You are thinking not as God does, but as human beings do." He summoned the crowd with his disciples and said to them, "Whoever wishes to come after me must deny himself, take up his cross and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and that of the gospel will save it." The Lord wants his disciples of yesterday and today to establish a personal relationship with him and thus to embrace him at the center of their life. For this reason, he spurs them to face themselves honestly, and he asks, "But who do you say that I am?" Today, Jesus addresses this very direct and confidential question to each of us. Who am I for you? Each person is called to respond in his or her heart, allowing each one to be illuminated by the light that the Father gives us in order to know his Son Jesus. And it can also happen to us, as it did to Peter, that we passionately affirm, "You're the Christ." However, when Jesus tells us clearly what he told the disciples, that his mission is fulfilled not on the wide road to success, but on the arduous path of the suffering, humiliated, rejected, and crucified servant, then it can also happen that we, like Peter, might protest and rebel because this contrasts with our expectations, with worldly expectations. In those moments, we too deserve Jesus' healthy rebuke. "Get behind me, Satan, for you are not on the side of God, but of men." Brothers and sisters, the profession of faith in Jesus Christ cannot stop at words, but calls to be authenticated by practical choices and gestures, by a life characterized by God's love. It calls for a great life, a life with an abundance of love for neighbor. Jesus tells us that to follow him, to be his disciples, we must deny ourselves, that is, the demands of our own selfish pride, and take up our own cross.